hold the front page. I'm Lembit Öpik and welcome to Press Release, where we find the facts, kill the spin and tell it like it is about the stories making the headlines. This week we'll be looking at tall tales from all around the world and sorting out the reality from the rubbish. First, a roundup of the news with events that cause more questions than answers. I ask, why is America so obsessed with Iran? It's willing to increase oil prices for everybody. We ask why Brexit-bound Westminster has proved it knows how to say no to everything without being able to say yes to anything. And we consider a war started by Britain and fought in Kashmir. What weirdness, what a week, what a world. Let's get down to the details and separate the political friction from the political fiction. How many people have noticed that the cost of oil has been going up this year? Part of the reason is the threat of even more action against Iran. For entirely political reasons, the US government has decided to tell everyone it's considering additional sanctions against Iran that would target areas of Iran's economy that have not been hit yet. That's according to a senior Trump administration official who raised the stakes at the beginning of April 2019. The official suggested that the US was thinking about making the sale of oil even harder by introducing even more restrictions on Iran's ability to export oil. What is going on in the psychology of the USA? I suggest America is so obsessed with punishing Iran, it is even willing to increase the cost of fuel for everybody, just to make Tehran and the Iranian people suffer more. And what for? Because somewhere along the way, American President Donald Trump thought it would be good to try and destroy a nuclear deal between Iran and the rest of the world. Aside from Donald's drama-drenched divisiveness, the rest of the international community agreed that it was time to work with Tehran instead of against it. Only the White House has wanted to try and push Iran out of this historic deal. The rest of the world actually thinks Iran is quite nice, which it is. And the cost of this is paid by everyone and can show up in increases in oil prices. That makes the sanctions against Iran into sanctions against anyone who buys oil, which is almost the entire global community, including America. Once again, the Americans have basically charged themselves more for oil to make a point about somebody else, namely Iran. Nice work, guys. Britain's Brexit bungling has been a case study in how not to make a simple decision. During a troubled week at the end of March, the UK Parliament was no nearer to resolving the chaos surrounding its departure from the European Union after Parliament failed to say yes to various options an unlucky 13 times in a row. Even during that short period, it was even able to reject Prime Minister Theresa May's divorce deal 3 times. The option that came closest to getting a majority was a proposal to keep Britain in a customs union with the EU, which was defeated by just 3 votes. But defeated it was. To many who voted for Brexit, this proposal would have been outrageous anyway. It would have been the same as saying you're leaving a friend's house and just staying on the sofa, and then, when your friend suggests ways for you to leave, you just keep saying no 13 times. There was talk of another referendum. That proposal was narrowly defeated as well. For many, this made it look like there would be an EU departure on April the 12th without a divorce deal. The nightmare scenario for many international businesses. Well, if you've been following events, you know what happened next. And the implications continue to echo around British politics. How could it have come to this? The divisions in Britain over Brexit go from top to bottom. The latest developments have done nothing to heal those wounds. It all left Prime Minister Theresa May looking like one of the most out-of-control British leaders in British political history. To say she is weak is an insult to weak people. All this caused European President Jean-Claude Juncker to make a strange riddle. He said, "A sphinx is an open book compared to the UK." Adding nobody knows where the UK is heading and that he would like to make the Sphinx talk and tell us in which direction they would like to go. A Sphinx? What was he talking about? His example wasn't any clearer than Brexit. Maybe it's making everyone go mad. If you ever want to teach children how not to make a decision, then Brexit is the perfect example. And if you ever want to teach them how not to be understood, Jean-Claude's views on sphinxes are the way to go. Thanks to Brexit, nobody in Britain seems able to agree, and thanks to the European President, nobody in Europe seems to be able to make sense. Tensions are always high along the border between India and Pakistan. The hottest spot is also one of the coldest places, namely the disputed Kashmiri region. Once again, there were reports of shootings there, this time leading to the deaths of Indians, including a 5-year-old girl. Although most of the time this war zone is ignored by the world's press, heavy shelling is a common occurrence between the two countries. The violence is caused by armed groups resisting Indian rule. Then the resistance ends up in conflict with government troops. What you might not know is that over 160 people have already been killed in the region in the first 3 months of 2019. Let's not forget the cause of all this trouble. Kashmir has been a centre of tension between India and Pakistan since their partition and independence from Britain in 1947. Both countries claim Kashmir as their own, and the current fighting has been very active for over 3 years. India regularly accuses Pakistan of arming and training militants and allowing them across the restless frontier in an attempt to launch attacks. Pakistan strongly denies those allegations, and so we see that the intervention of Britain 7 decades ago has once again caused trouble that just won't stop. That's the cost of empire, and one that's paid in lives. And as usual, I'll make some predictions about what could happen in the week ahead. Firstly, as Washington tries to put even more sanctions against Iran, it gets so obsessed with the idea that it bans anything it thinks is connected to the region, including Persian carpets, Turkish delight and snake charmers. As the United Kingdom continues to be split down the middle over Brexit, the country holds a referendum on whether those who oppose Brexit should be forced to live in a new specially designed independent state called London. And India and Pakistan continue to fight over Kashmir as Westminster watches on, criticises it, and forgets it caused the problem in the first place. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and join me next time for Press Release, the show that takes the political fiction out of the political friction. Hold the front page, but don't trust it, trust me.